Hello, hello, hello. I am super excited to be here. It is my birthday and I'm celebrating and I cannot wait to do this video with one of the most amazing people, one of the people that has just, I mean, talk about having someone believe in you and that is Michele Gordon. I appreciate you so much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to give you, you're always here. You know this place, but I'm still going to give you a round of applause because you deserve it. Welcome, Michele. Michele, introduce yourself. Tell everyone who you are.
Hello, hello. I am Michele Gordon. I am Tamara's fan club. I'm president of the Tamara Louis Monovan Digital Fan Club. But I'm Michele Mouton Gordon with Lanyard Digital Consulting, podcast host to Tamara, and all around just admirer and friend of the delightful, happy 50th birthday person that we have on the screen today. So I am quite fortunate to be one of the chosen to do this. But hey, my girl, what's happening?
Tell me, man. I am so excited that you decided to do this. And just again, I'm excited that you are on the podcast, like all the things, all the moves that you've made with us. And it's just been great, and I just kind of want to take it a little bit back to when we first met. I remember meeting you. We worked together at Travel Click, and which is now like Amadeus, which you still you're still hanging out there. But I remember hearing about you first. They were like, "Oh, that Michele Gordon, she's like the best number one salesperson, to this, to that, to the other." You're like, you were all the things on top of everything. And I was just like, oh my God, who is this woman? And when I finally met you, I was just like, she is amazing. And literally, you'd walk into a room and everyone would be just like listening, like all these corporate settings of, a lot of men, a lot of all the things, but you walked into the room and everyone was just like, that's bad over there. Number one sales, this number one. So I was just, when we started to hang out and just talk, and I was just in awe of you because I was just like, and I learned so much from you in time. It's just been like amazing. And the fact that we became friends and all the things was just always like, Michele.
This is supposed to be about you, and you making me feel all warm and fuzzy inside and stuff. That's just so like you, so like you. But thank you, and mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.
For sure, for sure.
That's being said. That mission accomplished. That's what we are striving to do, and that's you know where we go with this, and typical of you. To acknowledge something like that. But the Mutual Admiration Society here too, with us. But as for our community out here that's listening, Tamara and I, again, like she said, met at work, but we work remotely. That's the oddest of things. At the time, I now live in California, but I was living in the Washington D.C. area, and she was down in Orlando. And in the business that we were working in, most of us worked in various parts in my instance, the United States, but in Tamara's instance, she was down local in one of our Orlando offices, and her name would just pop up, pop up, pop up. And you were assigned to me. That's what the lovely part about this. On one of my introduction to the great Queen Mon Louis, as I call her often, was on an account. We had a really big account, and you were a digital manager, digital strategist, and they said you need Tamara on the account, or as they say there, and I just bluster it all the time, Tamara Monlouis, is you need Tamara on this account. She will take care of it. And I was like, what a fabulous name. Just the name alone is going to bring credibility to this. Mon Louis, what kind of name is Mon Louis? I was like, I'm loving this. This New Orleans girl here, love the name. So this is going to be awesome. And sure enough, from the moment we met, it was just one of those things where almost instantaneously we were not completing each other's sentences right away, but we were on the same wavelength right away of what the account needed. I called it this mental shorthand that we often have with each other, and that we understood where we needed to go, what we were trying to do, the I will say the brown girl, the wavelength thing. And then as we got to know each other, we understood that it was just deeper than we understood the business, but it came back to our roots, our roots of, this Louisiana, New Orleans girl in the Trini, that there was something in it that helped us to really bond and vibe. And I really appreciated that piece of us.
100%. I remember my first trip to New Orleans and I was just like, man, this place feels like home. There was just something there that was just like, this place feels like home. And then I met you and are you Caribbean? It's these cultural. So that's actually another theme that I've seen throughout it, right? The cultural. There's a lot of people that I've connected to that their cultures that are very similar, or that really lends to that. So the cultural backgrounds help that, and then again, it was just we were in spaces where the two of us together usually doesn't happen in corporate America, right? They never the two of us rolling together was just like, oh, yeah, okay, you're gonna. Is everyone okay with this?
I don't know if you noticed though, we were in a couple of situations in the work world and a couple in personal that I noticed where I remember we were going into a meeting in New York and we just did our thing. It was funny. I looked at you and I was like, Queen, and we did this. And that was our thing, like straighten our crowns. Let's do this. And it was something straight out of the movie. The doors opened, we walked in and the room paused. The room literally paused. We just did our thing. We went about, we walked in, we did our thing. We came, we saw, we conquered, we moved on to the next thing and checked off the list and accomplished what we needed to. And it was months later that I was in the setting with a bunch of the people that were in that room later. And they said, I don't know what kind of magic sauce that you two have, but whatever that is, y'all need to bottle it up and move that along. And I was like, that's our lanyard. We're not giving that away to anybody else. That's who we are.
That is the lanyard. And talk a little bit about the lanyard, because not only is it's a word that, I mean, like growing up in Trinidad, we heard that word all the time. So when you talked about that being the business name, talk about Lanyard Digital a little bit.
So I'm a New Orleans girl at heart. I might live in California and I may not have lived there for 30 plus years, but I am a New Orleans girl. And lanyard, for those that are unaware, the term means a little something extra. What's that something extra that you bring to the table or that you're giving? And typically it is in a sales world, that what's that little added sample that they put in your bag? Or when you're dining and someone has invited you into their home, they give you that little extra side, that little extra that makes a difference, that makes you memorable and makes somebody want to come back for more and really know who you are. And that's what lanyard is. And it's a in my world, a very Southern term. But as I learned that, it's not all about New Orleans, Michelle. There's some other things, but in the Caribbean, it's something that is well said as well and well known. And it is the key to things. And one of the reasons why I named my business Lanyard Digital, because we are providing you and helping you understand your little something extra to make you a bit different from the rest and to make you memorable and to convert the business and maintain.
I love that. I think one of the other things I really appreciate about you is your willingness to jump into this world because there's the corporate side, but you're jumping into this entrepreneur space in a way that is just like, I'm like, hey, I talk to you about things. I'm like, I talk to you about the visions for where things should go. And you're like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Let's do this podcast. Let's figure it out. I'm on it. I'm here. I think your willingness to be open to this different space has just been awesome. And that's what I appreciate. Every time I bring an idea to you, you help me make it better. You help me tweak it, but then you jump into the party. Like it's so important to have some people that really believe in you. And when I pull back, I'm like, man, you are like a believer. You know what I mean? If I had a church, I'd be like, Michelle,
Amen community for the Molawi, Tamara Molawi, Amen community, Monovan. It was, and I, to bring it back to Sandra, I remember when you and I were speaking on this back when we worked together, and we had, I don't know if it was over tequilas at Rocco's Tacos so that day, one of the many times, because that was one of our places. But as we got to know each other, and the proverbial hair gets let down, and that's when I really understood the connection that you and I had, when the corporate Michele would fade away. And I didn't realize it when the New Orleans, dialect would come out, where I was comfortable and knew, and you knew, because of, the Trini accent, that would come up. And we would be able to vibe and understand each other, where I remember thinking, she's not long for this in the corporate world. She is meant to be on and have her own business and lead her own business, because the vision that you always have, you are always 10 steps ahead. You see not only the large picture of things, but the fine places things need to be, and are able to anticipate and know it's coming down the path. I don't know whose video you just did. It was a couple of them, where one young lady mentioned that you were like a fortune teller. And I said, she absolutely is. She has this vision, she sees it, but then she can also place herself in that seat and help you to realize that this is your part in it, and this is where it's going to go, and it's going to be awesome. Or don't go that route. Here's a better place to go, and here's why. So you see the larger picture and are able to manage it. But because you've been here, you're able to walk that talk and put it out in front of someone to help them to realize it. You're kind when you say that I've been there with you. I'm not just your friend, but I see the business smarts of this and want to support and be there for you, because there's no way I'm not going to be along for this ride. there's no way to be there to watch and watch the awesomeness and the greatness that's going to, that keeps displaying, but where your vision is. You said this 5 years ago, 6 years ago at this point, of what you wanted Monovan to be. And I tell you this all the time. Yeah, you said this. You said this is what it was going to be. And you look at me and you're like, I did? Yes, it might have been, over some real good food or a great glass of red wine, but it was something that you put out there, and you said, this is what I want, my vision for Monovan. This is how I want to be in this world, and the mark that I want to leave in not just a indelible way, but one that's going to be lasting, one that's going to make a difference, one that's going to be meaningful for you and the people that you touch. And you've touched me that way. I remember the first time you called me in the Monovan space, and it was to help you to work with someone in Trinidad and to do the sales portion of it. And you could not see from a small business perspective. This is so smart of you, and I hope many people listen and hear this piece, where you had enough within you to say, this is not my jam. This is not me. This is not what I do well. This is where they need help. Can you come in, and would you mind help me to understand how I position this and help them? Because I think they would be more successful if they understood a sales viewpoint, or if they price themselves differently, so that the digital can work out really well. So you have not only vision, but you understand where to plug and play and how to help someone, even when it's not serving you. It's serving you, but it's not, when it's not serving you right away. And that was almost the fire that lit under me to say, well, Michele, you've wanted to pivot. Here you go. Here's the right place. And then I remember the second call. The second call was after I'd moved out here to California. And you come talking to me about some craziness about Clubhouse, and come and listen to you at 4 a.m. in the morning. It's okay, Michele. Come and listen. I want you to join sometime, and you can go back to sleep. I know it's 4 o'clock in the morning for you, but you can go back to sleep. And 3 years later, here we are, podcast host. And I'm getting up, habitually now at 3 o'clock in the morning for a 4 a.m. broadcast, because you pulled this out of us. You see things and you understand the moving parts, and not just want to find ways to help the community of people that you want to work with, your community, but how it works well with Monovan. And you're happy and willing to share your stage with a number of us to not only elevate Monovan, but you're elevating other small businesses and helping other businesses grow and understand as we are growing and moving forward. And that takes a lot of internal, knowledge that you know who you are and what you want Monovan to be, and you don't see any of this as a threat. And that's a big thing in this world. That's a big thing where people are afraid to show their vulnerability. They're afraid to show and share at the same time as they're growing and trying to be successful. And it takes a lot that, and a testament to who you've always been, to say, I got me, I got you too, and we're going to do this and we're going to succeed. And you've done that, I can say, for the entire time that I've known you. But as we have gone through this world of watching Monovan grow, as we have increased our footprint with your business and digital, that's displayed on every show and everything that we do, that you have been generous in who you are and what you are willing to provide, while not feeling threatened that your business and that you won't thrive in the midst of your sharing. So hats off to you, and what a fine example that you're setting for us all.
Oh man, woo. Woo. I think, I don't even know where to start with that. That is like, oh, well, all right. That is beautiful. And, leaving corporate, I think one of the things that really stood out for me was I had to make sure, and egos showed up in corporate America a lot. And the egos always caused the problem, right? So I understood in running my business that I had to move the ego. And every time my ego shows up, I'm like, all right, let's back it down. The other thing is that literally we're better together than we are apart, right? Like, it's corny as hell, but it's like we build a conglomerate when we come together, right? My parents' pictures falling down, my parents' wedding pictures falling down, right? I think I'm saying all the things. My dad's like, yes. But we build a conglomerate when we come together as these small businesses. And like, I know everyone and what they do. And I see them as you're such an expert. I see all these experts. I'm like, how do we bring all of this all together? Because that's how we build a big business. It's leading and feeding all these other businesses. And then that sense of community. I'm such a part of a community, and how do we help the community grow, right? So it takes a lot of work to start thinking like that. But corporate showed me, because egos were the things that made me run from corporate, because there were these egos that they had to be right. And for me, it's never about it. I don't need to be right. We just need to get it done. So it's really just kind of working through some of those things and constantly working to understand, how do you stay humble? How do you just set things up in a way where you can kind of go back and look, and then someone always gives you a word or says something that you're like, man, you think it through and you're like, that is it right there, right? So and I kind of see myself like almost like the conductor a little bit sometimes, right? Because you see all these amazing people, and I'm like, I want to conduct this orchestra. I'm like, they're amazing, they're amazing, they're amazing. And how do you pull it all together? There are all these really, really talented people, and sometimes they don't get an opportunity to shine. So if we're creating a platform and we're creating a space, then how do we bring those folks on to shine and share in our space? Because there's nothing wrong with sharing, you know what I mean? Like, literally, sharing is caring. It's like the first thing you learn. So I'm super excited to just always have you in my space, because you bring something to the table, your experience, what you do, just how the polish that you add to things. It's like a whole other layer. So I appreciate you, and thank you so much for, again, just believing and, really just being here and taking the ride with us. And, it's just been awesome. And again, every Monday and Wednesday, well, when we're not on vacation, I get to wake up and talk with you and share a stage with you. That's amazing to me. It's awesome.
You are an amazing person. It is great. And that's a mild word for what I really feel about how it's been to watch you on this journey. I vividly remember you and I having the conversation of you pulling the trigger to move out of corporate world into your own corporate world of Monovan Digital, and what your vision was, and how just you could almost see the weight lift off your shoulders, and that you became lighter. And the Zen Tamara that I know was at the table. She's got this very deceiving kind of thing about her when I first met her. It was this project manager, by the numbers, this, and this, move this out of the way, move that out of the way, we're doing this. And then I meet her and we go out for dinner. And this whole Zen person came to the table, and the universe will provide person is in the room. And I'm like, who in the world is this lady? And that person, when you said that this is going to be the name of my company and this is what I'm going to do, I saw both of them together in one place. And that was the full you. And that's what I see every day that we're in this space together as you've moved Monovan through and as you've revealed more and more. It feels and looks so good on you. And I'm so happy for you because this is, I know 5 years in, but the best is so yet to come. And I'm glad that I'm here to be here on the side of you watching this happen and sharing in the success of you, because you more than deserve it. This is, as I watch you shine, I can't help but to smile and to tell everybody about you and about Monovan, because delivering the flowers while you are here is really important in the person that you are, in the pack that you are leading. I think it's not often that we take a moment to reflect, and I'm so excited that you took this moment in your 50 to 52 to look in the rearview mirror just a little bit and really acknowledge who you are and the wealth, the strong tribe. Your tribe is deep and strong, and they are here and showing up for you. And if that's not a testament to the awesome person that you are, I don't know what else we could bring to the table, because you're all that. And as my niece says, a bag of chips right there.
Not the bag of chips. Oh my God. All right, Michele, before I leave crying, I appreciate you so much. This was awesome. I'm glad you were able to do this for me. And again, thank you for believing, and thank you for being a part of the journey. You know what I mean? Let's build this conglomerate. Continue to build this.